Right now, there are people lost in the depths of the ocean with only less than 10 hours of oxygen left.
Titan had gone missing.
Racing to find a missing submersible carrying 5 people who disappeared during a trip to the deep-sea remains of the Titanic shipwreck.
A billionaire, a businessman and his 19-year-old son, an explorer and a company CEO. All of them went into the depths of the ocean to see the wreckage of the popular Titanic. And right now, this is one of the biggest stories in the world.
apps dan rami no belok ma na ismang ye game ko khatle mungna thangkarang ko khamai na kata man gen na je dakke free fire ong jamane PUBG ong jamane ugarang ko na khale din san sumai ya tingen yang na sim ko chanche teng oni bunye game ko download khai na thangkarang ko khamai na kata man gen antang thungni idea about tricks to anga ye game ang ko khatle mungna basa ko ba hajar gini dakke ranga salo khamai oni gibna simang na anga dao mai dakke download kana nga mai ke register kana nga na simang na dao anga mobile screen no misukat ken digimna download kabo aro khalbo nigma han thing dao screen no jol niyang chingna uni gum thara kale yang na comment box ba description ko esum download khanak taman gen digimna game ko phun ka tenga nakni phone number ko ka patak tanang gen anga dao rchamo ye game na deposit khanak ta menga dao rchamo deposit ka na nga game ko khalani ko takang gen nigimna anga dao de kong chkhungchi ya tiger versus dragon ko thapatinga digimna thai sa samatna niyang chingna ching nigimang tao singna yan belongin altua ye ko khalna de digimang los nga hagong chkeng aro anga tao khulgruk thapang thai gen ner pengrang digimna tao khulgruk thapang thaina los nga ni gemen hai niang na tao man gen ma man jaw ma digimna los ung ther pengrang gong chkeng aro tao anga khulgruk thappa de shu los nga kholachi takimna thappa thaina jajing nak tenang jo na chimar pengrang digimang thappa thejok kholachi aro kholachi thappa los han di banga ta o kholachi juknu tao to anga sotbri thappa thaina ne pengrang ne ni bu ta anga thappa thainga tao de anga ma na ni bon digimna ismang khamai nak ta man kan belongin khamai nak ta althur pengrang ne digimang anga ta o na ismang na withdraw khai mi sokat ngen withdraw kana ba belongin althua na phone phiong oba ptm oba gmak chi althua digimang ta o withdraw khat ninga ni ber pengrang hajal sar cha sa kong sanga ma na da o digimang na angni withdraw khagum nang khona ismang na ta o mi sokat tinga withdraw kana belongin althua aro anga salon digin hajal sa basak ber chabo basak hajal sa chakta basak hajar ni taki khamen digimne riang bo aro download ka ba khalbo nen diban thani risk
World.
And the hopes are that it will be found before oxygen on board runs out. They have about 24 more hours.
As you watch this video, rescue teams are racing against time to save people trapped inside a submersible that's been missing for 4 days now.
As explorers, we are pessimistic and objective. As it stands right now, it would be a miracle if they are recovered alive.
It started on June 16th. MV Polar Prince, the ship carrying the submersible called Titan, left St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada and traveled about 700 kilometers of coast. 2 days later, on June 18th, they arrived for their mission to see with their own eyes the world's most famous wreckage, the Titanic, which was about 13,000 feet deep. And that's when the tragedy began. At 8 a.m., Titan, which is the size of a minivan, was submerged. Inside it were these 5 men. Some of them paid $250,000 just for this expedition, which was supposed to last for only 8 hours. To reach such depths of the ocean is almost as hard as reaching space. That's why the British billionaire Hamish Harding once also went to space. But just 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive, things began to get out of control. Titan lost communication. But it wasn't until 4 hours and 21 minutes later that the ship's crew informed the Coast Guard they lost contact. Since then, the whole world has been following what could now become the deepest search and rescue mission ever attempted. Titan only has enough oxygen for them to last 96 hours. It's just a submersible. It wasn't designed to spend days underwater like a submarine. Even though they all have been aware of the risks, we still need to be hopeful that they will be found in these last 10 hours that they have. Imagine being one of these men, especially the 19-year-old son. Right now, as you're watching this video, they are slowly dying in a place so small, there's barely enough room to sit.
And the 5 people on board likely only have enough oxygen to survive until 6 a.m. on Thursday.
The next day, on June 20th, underwater noises were detected by a Canadian aircraft. This brought up some hope. However, they cannot be sure if they were the men banging the walls of Titan or just something else. The search area is roughly the size of Connecticut. Rescuers say that looking for them is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Let's hope for the miracle, as no one ever deserves to die this way. And as to how it happened, there are different theories. Some say that it's possible Titan lost power. Some say it could have been swept by current.
It's very possible that by that period of time it was already on the bottom, getting ready to view the Titanic, and it could have gotten itself entangled somewhere.
And perhaps the most irritating is the fact that the safety of this expedition has been downplayed from the very beginning, like when an engineer quit the company over safety concerns about the structural integrity of Titan.
An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death.
This clearly sounds like a red flag for safety. The size of the search area has been doubled, twice the size of Connecticut. Most people don't believe they will be found. And even if they're found, that wouldn't really mean they will be saved. Experts say that in many ways, being 13,000 feet underwater is more dangerous than being in space. And while all of this is happening, people can't help but raise questions about the Titan and Ocean Gate, the company operating the tours to see the Titanic wreckage. This has only been their third expedition. A couple of years ago, the company's CEO said it was an experimental approach, and a journalist who did a story on Titan said,
"I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller."
Come on! Imagine having to control a vehicle thousands of feet underwater with a $30 game controller. But for now, let's forget about all of this. There is no time to blame anyone right now, so that the sad story of the Titanic doesn't happen to the Titan. Let's all come together and pray for a miracle.
Perpengrang 장세대 안증 ian Atlantic Ocean Titanic nini ang parang ni bidung o sakpunga sigban iman iano je video golfong thaina wan Pakistani billionaire businessman aron asimang je video clips to kai chim ian Titan ba Ocean Gate ni mga chim wani CEO ba ya obostong o jangigal na nang ka ha daw ching yani video na minigen chim ngode wamang ni gemani ba oxygen nang sok na man gijani abad singanira Jun chidok tarikoni ngacham daknya ingon wamang ni rangsok na man gijaba oxygen gree donga niara salbri ka plengacham jun chidokoni aro jun ko tariak kona salbina mamang khobor dongzani kemen rescue team navy wamang ko kemahanemna pochipimna adita wamang ni bidinga sanding ni kodakon wamang tubi kepas hagalni ngao wamang ko siahane wamang akanani ko takaha dakin wat Titanic isa company va yan Titanic skango research isku belsio ga kapa ko nina man thari ke payan machine wacham wan uno riang na kata American dollar lakni hajal sotmo amang ni te kamna na ngacham dakin ngoba wamang rasung gribi ya dangdang ni jangyo gamatna na ngau takaha wa machine mai ba kha fal ongaha Tansing wamang ni talatani ko adita yang askana tao bisong ni suppose ka ani kita de wa tubi ka pas sagalin obwa hajal chi kam fit mangni kita bisong im da sungrianga na alin bisong ni rakstani lang ning takahana kanta kurut bilang ni kita ning takan jamano wamang jangi kalahane bisong akanenga dengtang Navy Army rang wamang ni noktang na condolation message rang ko unataha ndaken bisong uno jangigal gupa mungsung batian Titan ba Ocean Gate ni mga wa mission ko ani CEO ba ano jangi galna nango aro Pakistani billionaire malik businessman rang uno jangi galna nango kaha aro uni defend heba wano jangi galna nango kaha hotel bisong sakbongar yachum wa Titanic jenskang o 1919 no Atlantic Ocean sribe bagake aselonga chum wa ko ta o nina kata yachum dake ong wamang rasungri tangtangni jangi ko gematna nangau kaha adita jeng yanoksa talatani ko naknakata maninga haidangni agaratani rang was khatrang baksa melija mainanga tangde na isimangna nimanani zaman talatani bidingo was sigba baksade thalena isimangna agana cenga unigeman wan nimanani zaman garuchi dingtangdake aganat naba donga na isimong kore masi sakpabo wan mo billionaire millionaire malik flavor what Titanic kentamu greng ra rakba ko nine nga tangni jangi ko gemata ha bisong wan waba ongkati ban ina jo machine ning o window takba nonga glass ba kelkinya kana chede ugita makmangsan nyot na kata maneo nakingan wama tangtangni jangi ko on khangple wamang nina kata an diba jebong china dalni bidide rangsan Nisang bas sakan tikon telben ada ibangan ikut video ko niang scan semua channel ko like dan subscribe kay donar teman-teman saya ko nak ketal video ko notification manso nak kata ni sunin sa sakan tikon telbe